Following program is a production of Hō'ike Kauaʻi Community Media. Aloha Kauaʻi. We have a great show for you today, but before we get to it, I wanted to make sure of two things. First, have you cast your vote for Kauaʻi's favorite Girl Scout cookie yet? If not, be sure to scan the QR code on your screen during today's episode and do it before the contest is over at the end of March. Second thing you should know, we'll be giving next week's episode from California because Hō'ike is going to the ACM West Conference in Fresno, and we're not going to let that stop us from delivering to you all of Kauaʻi's news and events that you want to know about. So be ready for that episode. It's going to be a fun one. Until then, we have today's episode. You ready? Good, me too. I'm Tricia Allen, and this is the Hō'ike Weekly. Announcing this week's upcoming events is our main event, so let's get to it. The National Tropical Botanical Garden is holding a Florilegium art show at their South Shore Visitor Center on Monday, March 7th. For anyone who's never heard of the word Florilegium, don't worry, I got you. I'd never heard that word before either and had to look up what it meant. A Florilegium is a collection of illustrations that vibrantly documents plants from a specific region or botanic garden, and it comes from a Latin word meaning gathering of flowers or bouquet. So, on March 7th, the NTBG's Florilegium Society will be putting their stunning illustrations on display for the general public, beginning at 6 p.m. But NTBG members get early access to the show at 5 p.m. More info on the event, as well as RSVP information, can be found by scanning our QR code. American pianist Clayton Stevenson began piano lessons at age 7 and was then accepted into Juilliard School of Music's advancement program with a full scholarship. By age 10, he advanced to Juilliard's elite pre-college program. Clayton Stevenson was also the first Black finalist at the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition in 2022, and in 2023 he graduated from Harvard with a bachelor's in economics and a master's in piano performance. Now, after all of that, he's coming to Kauaʻi to perform, thanks to the Kauaʻi Concert Association. On Tuesday, March 4th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., Clayton Stevenson will be tickling the ivories at the KCC Performing Arts Center. For specific information on this event, visit claytonstevenson.com or scan our QR code. The 44th Annual Pine Trees Classic is a 3-day surfing event hosted by the Kauaʻi Boardriders. It kicks off on Friday, March 7th and runs until Sunday, March 9th, with surfing heats sandwiched in between fun stuff like music and a movie night. Sound good? If you need more info, you know what to do. Scan the QR code or click our tiny URL link. Have you ever heard about Title IX? Title IX is a law that protects against discrimination in any school that receives federal funding. Well, before Title IX, women's sports were barely a footnote, but that changed thanks to a powerhouse group of Wahine who refused to be sidelined. Rise of the Wahine, Champions of Title IX, tells the untold story of the University of Hawaii's women's volleyball team and their fight for equality, paving the way for generations of female athletes. It's a powerful look at history, determination, and the game-changing law that leveled the playing field, and a public screening of this incredible movie is happening on March 8th at the KCC Performing Arts Center. The event's hosted by the Kauaʻi County on the Status of Women, and we were able to speak to a couple of its members about the upcoming screening. We have that video for you now. Roll the tape. Aloha Kauaʻi. I'm Tricia Allen, and joining me in the studio, we have again Lori Barrett, who is the chair on the Kauaʻi County Committee on the Status of Women. And we also have Ignacio Neumiller, who is also with the Committee on the Status of Women. Both of these amazing females are in the studio today because it is Women's History Month, and the Committee on the Status of Women has a special screening of The Rise of the Wahine. Lori, let's really quickly start with the Committee on the Status of Women. What is this group and what do you ladies do?
So the Kauaʻi County Committee on the Status of Women is a group of women who have been appointed to serve the women, the Wahine of Kauaʻi, and finding out what their needs are and making recommendations. This year we're also following bills and offering testimony on behalf of women's interest in politics this year.
Okay, so the Committee on the Status of Women sort of advocates for other women on the island of Kauaʻi. Is that accurate to say?
Yes,
Yeah,
relating to women's issues.
All right. Give us some examples of women's issues, just in case anybody isn't clear.
Well, we have a period products campaign that we do where we provide the period products for free. We also had signage put into county and parks bathrooms on human trafficking and how to get help. Also, we have breast cancer awareness that pretty much every year we have a walk for the breast cancer awareness as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this year we had a sign waving for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's
In
right.
front of KCC. So we did a little different this
We
year.
got to see you there this year. That was a fun sign waving. And now this screening of Rise of the Wahine is pretty significant. You know what, Edie, would you mind telling us about the screening and the movie? And
So it's a free showing. And actually it is about UH volleyball team, the Wahine, back in the 70s. So it is a film documentary about how they overcame gender equality in sports. And it had to do also with the law. So
and that was Title IX, right?
Title IX,
Yeah.
yes. So let me just read what Title IX is. Title IX is a landmark law that states no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation, denied the benefits, or subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So our former Congresswoman, she passed already, is Patsy Mink, and then there was another, I think she was part of the athletics, Donna Thompson, were instrumental in getting this law passed back in the 70s. So it takes you from the beginning to the very, very end. And I believe Coach Dave Soji was the coach at that time.
Okay. And it just sort of documents the volleyball team and all of what they went through that year and how Title IX played an important role
Yes,
in
it's
their
a law
team
now.
that year. And
I wanted to add that the filmmaker was Hawaii born, Dean Kaneshiro. He's an actor and he's a co-producer of the film as well. It had a lot of impact on him also when he was filming it. So can I read a little bit about what he said?
Yes, please,
Okay.
from Dean Kaneshiro.
Yes.
Okay.
So Dean Kaneshiro explains, the journey has forever changed my heart and inspired me to raise my sons and daughters in an empowering way. I hope the Wahine story inspires future generations to challenge injustice in all forms.
And also, this is the 50th anniversary of Title IX. So
Oh.
it's also significant in that respect as well.
So the screening of Rise of the Wahine is going to be on March 8th at KCC Performing Arts Center. It's going to be at 2 o'clock from 2 to 4. And before and after, we're going to have some vendor tables or information resource tables from a few of our partners. So that's KCC Performing Arts, KCC Title IX, YWCA Kauaʻi, Zonta Club of Kauaʻi as well. I think I hit up everyone.
So really quickly, if people have questions about the Committee on the Status of Women, where should they go to get information about that group, Lori?
The County Boards and Commissions website.
All right, and you know we're gonna put a QR code for you. So if you need info on that, feel free to scan it. Edie, if people have questions about the days and times of this screening for Rise of the Wahine, which is open to the public, where can they go to get that info?
Oh, there's more information that the public can go to is the website riseofthewahinefilm.com.
Okay.
And although this film is free, it's open to the public and all sports teams. That is our target this year, because we want to show the sports teams that all sports teams should be equal in everything that they do. So it's about gender equality.
Understood. And if you don't mind giving us the details really quickly, it's going to be playing at the KCC Performing Arts Center on what day?
It's Saturday, March 8th, starts at 2, but there'll be the resource tables available before and after the film. So if you wanted to pick up some resource information, some agency swag, please stop by our tables.
Got it. Edie, Lori, thank you very much for being in this studio again. And for all of you watching, if you missed any of those details, we got a QR code for you to scan, or if you're listening on our podcast, you can click the tiny URL link in our show notes.
Thanks,
Thank you again.
Tricia.
You're very welcome, and we'll see you at the screening for Rise
Yes,
of
very
Wahine.
good. I'm
Sounds
glad.
good.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Rice Street Business Association will be responsible for all the action in downtown Lihue this weekend. So let's see what they're cooking up. Hale Lihue is having one of their monthly First Friday night events on Friday, March 7th. As always, this event is family friendly and open to the public. There'll be a beer garden, Ono food, live art, open mic, and live music as well from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 4286 Rice Street. Details can be found at downtownlihue.com. And then after First Friday comes Second Saturday. And in Lihue, the second Saturday of the month is for the Crest Street Night Market, hosted by the Hawaii Tourism Authority and Ala Coco Shop. Unique handmade gifts, locally made crafts, food trucks, and live entertainment are just some of the things you can expect to run into at the Crest Street Night Market. To learn more, visit downtownlihue.com. Looks like it's time to get caught up on the most important happenings island-wide with our news flash. A new submarine cable system is being installed that will improve inter-island connectivity and digital services statewide. It's called the Hawaiian Islands Fiber Link, and with a design life of 25 to 30 years, is expected to be ready for service in late 2026. Ocean Networks is the company responsible for the supply, construction, operations, and maintenance of the system, and they'll be holding a community informational meeting on Wednesday, March 5th at the Kauaʻi High School cafeteria. This meeting is open to the public and is a great way to learn about the subsea cable system that's coming our way. If you can't make it, that's okay too. We spoke with the Ocean Network's Clifford Miyake about the project and got some info for you. Take a look.
I'm Cliff Miyake. I am the Chief Strategy Officer for Ocean Networks.
Cliff, would you tell us really quickly about the Hawaiian Fiber Link project and what you hope to accomplish with it on the island of Kauaʻi?
Sure. So what the project is, high level, is it is a new undersea fiber optic cable system that will connect all the islands in the state of Hawaii, starting from Kauaʻi to Oahu to Maui. And as it gets to Maui, it connects to Molokai and Lanai. And from Maui, it connects also to the Big Island. The reason it's being built is to ensure that internet connectivity happens, it continues in the islands. The existing connections that are there today are getting very old. We plan on landing next to the Kauaʻi outrigger. There's a beach property there. And that will be the landing point for the island of Kauaʻi. And from there, it connects to the cable landing station, which will actually be at Kauai College. We make it available in a non-competitive, totally open access to all the carriers. So whether it be Hawaiian Tel, Charter, Verizon, AT&T Wireless or T-Mobile, any of them can come and get bandwidth off the system.
Okay.
And the amount of bandwidth is exponentially increased, and it's going to be faster bandwidth. So hopefully that translates to better pricing to, the residents.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, the idea is if you bring more, it should drop the unit price. So hopefully some of that savings gets passed on.
So the connectivity now, fiber is available in homes now. This system that it's using currently, though, is it that old one you were talking about that's a little bit worn?
Yeah. So currently all the content comes over the existing systems that are kind of pretty old in age. And that's why we're building this new one to ensure that you have a bigger, faster system going forward into the future. And the way it's engineered is this one's kind of tremendously over-engineered so it can last 25, 30 years into the future and, provide all that connectivity over that span. And we're kind of building it in partnership with the state. The state will actually have some equity ownership in the system when it's done. That's never happened before. And a lot of the locations where we land the capacity and make it available is on state property, like the university campuses,
Okay.
where we're putting most of the cable landing stations in.
The state having equity, how does that change how this fiber link is used?
State, as part of their equity, they have a pair, 2 strands of fiber through the whole system, which is the state has total and exclusive use of that, as well as it's getting a bunch of bandwidth, 300 gigabits of bandwidth statewide, and that amount is equivalent to about what they use today for all of the university and the Department of Education needs statewide currently. So the state automatically will have that when this system is built for use.
Oh, I see. So they're going to keep that basically for themselves.
They get a portion of every, they get a
Okay.
portion of every, that portion that I just mentioned, that's part of their ownership. Also, there is a grant to the Department of Hawaiian Homelands for 200 gigabits of capacity statewide delivered to cable stations. And we are working with the DHHL to come and meet and pick up the capacity and take it to the homesteads.
Oh, that's fantastic. So then people on DHHL property will get really good internet connectivity as well.
Yeah, they should have access to that statewide between the islands.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Now, you're holding a community meeting to discuss all of these details, and it is Wednesday, March, what day?
5th, I believe. Yeah, March 5th, Wednesday,
Wednesday, March 5th,
at Kauaʻi High School.
in the cafeteria, right?
Yes,
Okay, around 5 o'clock.
yes.
And what can people who show up to this informational meeting expect?
To get a little bit more deeper dive into the details of this and some of the reason why the state really stayed and we want to make sure this gets built, and also a little bit more discussion on the potential benefits to everyone on the island.
Sounds like a very good place to be if you have questions about this Fiber Link project. Cliff, thank you. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to speak with us about this. It sounds very important, and we're grateful to have you fill us in.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Kauaʻi families, this next one is for you. The folks over at Haleʻopio are holding a school uniform drive for the entire month of March. This is great because kids grow incredibly fast, and it's very possible that the shirts that you bought in August no longer fit in February. This uniform drive is a great way to get rid of those shirts and uniforms that are too small, while also serving as a great place to score some gently used, hopefully better fitting school attire. There are 3 donation locations on the island of Kauaʻi, one on the east side at Hale Ho'omalu. Donations can be dropped off from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays. In Lihui, between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Sunday, donations can be left at the Ainofia store in Kukui Grove Mall. And on the west side, at Nana's house in Waimea, donations can be dropped off from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursdays and Fridays. Donations should be clean and free of stains, pukas, and tears in order to be accepted. And you have the entire month to do it starting March 1st. So, plenty of time. Go for it. Nearly 500 volunteers on Kauaʻi, Oahu, Molokai, Big Island, and Maui all took to the shorelines for a second of 3 coordinated statewide whale counts. This is the 7th year that both the Hawaiian Island Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary Ocean Count and the Great Whale Count by the Pacific Whale Foundation on Maui were coordinated on the same day to ensure the data from all the main Hawaiian islands were collected simultaneously. In case you're wondering about our island, the total number of whales observed during the day's count on Kauaʻi was 321. This data, combined with other research efforts, will help reveal trends in humpback whale occurrence within and amongst whale seasons. The next coordinated count will happen on March 29th and is done on a volunteer basis. Preliminary or past counts, as well as information on volunteering for the upcoming count, March 29th, can be found by scanning the QR code on your screen or by clicking the tiny URL link in our show notes if you're listening to us on the Hō'ike Podcast Studio. But as of right now, that is all the Hō'ike we have for you this week. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be coming to you from California, but still giving you the news and events that you love. I'm Tricia Allen, wishing you love and aloha. And don't forget to vote for your favorite Girl Scout cookie. It's important.